Zora Neale Hurston is considered one of the preeminent writers of 20th century African American literature. Associated with the Harlem Renaissance, she has influenced many well-known writers in that era. Through her writings, she helped to remind the Renaissance, especially its more bourgeois members, of the richness and the racial heritage. Hurston presents political, racial, and gender issues in her novels, which tends to lead into the African American rights and women's rights movement. Her most notable work recounts the Bildungsroman of Janie May Crawford and her journey of the meaning of pure love nature had displayed for her when she was young, which also incorporates the hardship the African American women were challenged with during the early 20th century. As Janie seeks to find that give and take love, she also discovers a lot about herself, and their eyes were watching God. Nanny, Janie's grandmother, decides to help Janie fulfill her love-seeking journey by pre-arranging her to marry Logan Killings. Devastated at the thought that she won't be able to find her own love, Hurston sets this scene as an everyday outlook of the traditional African American heritage when a female child is at the coming of age to marry and leave home. And not only is Janie getting married to a man she barely knows, but he's in his 70s, quite an old fellow for 17-year-old Janie. Nanny's persistent that she needs to get married to him because of two big factors, land and money. Observing this scene, Janie tends to run to nature with her problems, expecting them to be washed away and cleansed from her mind, and also looking up to God, which was a big benefactor for the African American in their tough times. Hence the title, Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Dana, what in the world are you doing?
I'm watching God.
Now y'all want to make sure.
As Nanny gives Janie a pep talk on how to be a good, respectable woman to her man, this represents the social structure in that time the colored women were taught. Janie becomes less of herself and more like the social structure. Janie tries to make herself love Logan, but can never come to, and decides for her to be happy and find true love, she must leave him, since looks overpowered pure love. She carelessly runs away with Jody Starks, a wealthy entrepreneur who builds the city of Eatonville. At first, he gives her everything she could imagine, but once she steps her boundaries to speak up, his attitude towards her change. Expecting her dreams of pure love to come true, she only finds Jody's verbal and physical abuse hid her beauty and her youthfulness. Now back to square one, of finding the true meaning of love, after wasting it on false love. Hurston represents this particular scene as the lowest point a colored woman can hit in society as a whole. The death of Jody Starks finally set Janie free. The unraveling of her hair portrays the bondage being broken off, and she is ready to step up. She's ready to start up her journey again. And now she's able to be her young and wild self again, which leads her to falling in love with tea cake.
Everything gonna be turning over. Where you gonna be standing when it comes? For far too
Here is Hurston's irony. In the beginning, Janie was with an older man who didn't satisfy her needs, but she ends up with a younger man who supplies that give and take love she always wanted. In case you didn't know, Janie is now 40 years old and Tea-Cake is in his early 20s. Tea-Cake shows that real love. Tea-Cake shows what love really is and helps open up her heart to the truth that love in nature is real. After the death of Tea-Cake, to attract a rabid dog bite, she finally discovers who she was in the world and the meaning of true love. As she shared her story with her friend Phoebe, Janie realizes she must go back to nature to give it thanks. And as she kept her eyes on God, she thanked him too. Hurston novel inspired women to be
What you
strong
doing, Jane?
and keep their faith, because in due time it will all get better.
I'm watching God.